Part 1. The Silent Sentinel. Imagine the windswept plains of Salisbury. For millennia, the rain has fallen and the sun has baked the ancient, silent stones. They stand as they have always stood, a riddle wrapped in time. Stonehenge. The very name evokes a mystery that has endured for ages. Who built this? Why is it here? How is it even possible? We are not merely visitors today. We are investigators at the scene of history's greatest enigma. Conventional archaeology offers us safe answers. A temple for druids, a celestial calendar, a royal burial ground. These are comfortable, logical explanations. But are they sufficient? Consider the colossal sarsen stones, each a titan weighing up to 50 tons. They were dragged from the Marlborough Downs, a journey of 30 kilometers. Then, the smaller bluestones. Their origin lies in the distant Preseli Hills of Wales, a staggering 400 kilometers away. The official story speaks of Neolithic people with primitive tools. Yet, the scale of this endeavor is staggering. Why expend such unimaginable effort? Was this merely a calendar, a function that could have been served by a simple wooden structure? The sheer ambition defies simple explanation. This is our first clue that there is far more to this story. Part 2. The Celestial Clock. The undeniable genius of Stonehenge reveals itself in its alignment with the heavens. On the summer solstice, the rising sun commands the stage. Its first ray pierces the monument's heart, striking the heel stone with breathtaking precision. This was no accident. It was a feat of astronomical engineering. In the 1960s, Professor Gerald Hawkins used an early computer to decode part of this ancient puzzle. He demonstrated that the 56 Aubrey holes formed a sophisticated predictive calculator for lunar eclipses. Imagine that. Part 3. The Whisper of a Portal. This is where the path diverges from accepted history and enters the realm of profound mystery. If Stonehenge was a precise astronomical instrument, could it have been something more? Ancient legends and modern conspiracy theories whisper a tantalizing possibility. What if these stones were not just for observing the sky, but for interacting with it? What if Stonehenge was a portal? Researchers like Eric von Daniken have long suggested that such ancient marvels are evidence of lost technologies or otherworldly contact. They point to anecdotal reports of strange magnetic anomalies, of unexplained energy fluctuations, and of light seen within the circle. These stories echo much older folklore, tales of fairy rings and gates to the otherworld that saturate British mythology. The builders themselves left no written records, only this monumental, silent structure. Its very design, a series of door-like trilithons, seems to invite the idea of a gateway. Could the energy they sought to harness be not just spiritual, but dimensional? Part 4. The Conspiracy of Time. Naturally, such radical ideas are met with skepticism. But this skepticism sometimes feels like a wall deliberately erected. Why has so little extensive, modern archaeological digging been permitted at the site? Why are certain findings, particularly those related to anomalous energy readings, often dismissed or relegated to the fringes of science? One must consider the implications. If it were proven that Stonehenge was a device of advanced, perhaps even incomprehensible technology, it would shatter our understanding of human history. It would rewrite the narrative of civilization, challenging the foundations of religion, science, and power. Such a truth is dangerous. It is a truth that some institutions might have a vested interest in keeping buried. Furthermore, the identity of the builders is a ghost in the machine. The Druids, long credited with its construction, arrived millennia after the first stones were raised. The true architects vanished into the shadows of prehistory, leaving behind only their impossible creation. Were they survivors of a lost civilization like Atlantis? Or are they guided by an intelligence not of this earth? Part 5. The Mirror of Eternity. So what remains? We are left with an eternal question carved in stone. Stonehenge was an observatory, yes, but to limit it to that single function feels like an injustice to its grandeur. The portal theory, while unproven, keeps the mystery alive. It challenges us to look deeper, to think bigger. Ultimately, Stonehenge serves as a profound mirror for humanity. We see in its weathered stones what we are ready to see. The scientist sees geometry and astronomy. The mystic sees energy and spirit. The poet sees timelessness and wonder. Its true power may not lie in a single definitive answer, but in its relentless ability to make us question. It is a monument not just to its builders, but to the eternal human drive to reach beyond the known, to touch the stars, and to seek answers to the greatest mysteries of our existence. It reminds us that our past is far stranger and more wonderful than we have been led to believe. Part 6. The Echo in Our Blood, English. The stones have spoken to us across the centuries, not with words, but with a silent, persistent pull on our consciousness. We have examined the facts, weighed the theories, and ventured into the shadows of possibility. But the investigation is not over. It has merely shifted from the external to the internal. The true legacy of Stonehenge may not be in the ground or the sky, but within us. Consider this. Why does this place, more than any other ancient site, capture the global imagination so fiercely? Why do thousands gather for the solstice, not as archaeologists, but as pilgrims? It is because Stonehenge taps into a deep ancestral memory. It is an echo in our blood, a reminder of a time when humanity perceived the universe as a living, breathing entity, full of magic and connection that our modern world has largely forgotten. The stones challenge our arrogance. In an age of quantum computing and interplanetary exploration, we still cannot say for certain how or why our prehistoric ancestors achieved this. This humility is a gift. It forces us to acknowledge that knowledge is not a linear path, that great truths can be lost, and that civilizations can rise and fall, leaving behind only cryptic monuments as their epitaphs. Stonehenge is a warning against intellectual complacency and a beacon calling us to remember that there are still vast, uncharted territories in both our history and our potential. It asks us not just who they were, but who we are and what echoes we will leave for the millennia to come.